I'd like to call this meeting to order.
Accommodations.
Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Here.
Mr. Brubaker?
Here.
Ms. Karstafen? Here. Mr. Elick?
Here.
And Mr. Gebhardt?
Here. All here and accounted for. Would you everybody please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the March 1st Leary School Board meeting. We'd like to thank Westwood, Mrs. Lingo, and Mr. Rollins for having us out today. And I'd like to introduce everybody sitting up here with me today. To my far right is Board Member Jim Bax. To my immediate right is Vice President and Board Member Kevin Brubaker. I am Greg Elick. To my left is Senior Board Member Mike Gebhardt. To his left is Board Member Annie Karstafen. To her left is Superintendent Dr. Tom Jama. And to his left is our treasurer, Joy Clickinger. Tonight we are very excited about having a presentation here, and we look forward to it. I believe something to do with the STEM group. Is that correct? Sure, please.
So this year, Westwood, actually for next school year, we have been afforded the opportunity to implement a STEAM program here at Westwood. And to walk us through what that's going to look like, I have three of my teachers here that will explain what that's going to look like for us here at Westwood. I have Mr. Steve Large, Mr. Todd Church, and Mr. Scott Hamker.
Hello. I'd like to begin with the fact that it's not lost to how appreciative we are that Teresa's given us an opportunity to basically say, what do you think of this? And then let us fill in all the blanks. I've been taken 20 years back in my education career, like I got out of college and was able to just do all these cool things. So it's a great opportunity, and we're enthusiastic beyond belief. But as far as what it'll look like and what our goals, it's not the one. No, it's not. Sorry. There we go. What we'd like to do is our focus is a social dynamic that overall has been lacking in the classroom with testing. We like to activate our students' resourcefulness, have them approach their thinking in from different angles, work backwards, reverse engineer, and ask them a lot of why questions and have them fill in the blanks on what they think they can achieve given a set of circumstances. We want to awaken a more prepared learner. With activities that is part of their world, not necessarily our world, which there is a gap, it seems like, of where they see themselves going and where we want to take them, and that's something that they're going to guide the process, and we're going to help give them some tools along the way. A lot of hands-on activities, and we really want to embrace new ways of thinking and accept different opinions are a healthy part of achieving a project. And we talk about getting out of the box, but in honesty, we're going to build another box. Is what we want to do. Is build a new box.
Much like Mr. Large, I'd like to thank and applaud the initiative of Mrs. Langle and Mr. Rollins. Their initiative to go out and try to find the next big thing and then try to be one of the first ones to do it. It makes Westwood a very exciting place to work. And I'm very excited to collaborate with these guys, Mr. Large and Mr. Hamker, because they bring an awful lot to the table. And I'm really excited to get going on this. One of the things that I see as an additional social component to this is dealing with failure. Our society focuses a whole lot on results. Wins, losses, test scores, good, bad. When the reality is top flight organizations and teams, they focus on a process. And when you focus on a process, the process drives the results. So we've got a great opportunity here to teach that. And within that, failure is going to happen. And we have to be able to teach how to deal with that and shift the mindset to where failure is a chance to improve something rather than an end result. Failure is a way to find limits, and it's part of the process. Mr. Hamsker is going to take you a little farther through the process, but I see that as a real positive dynamic that we're going to be able to bring to this program. So I'm thankful for you guys, the board, to have the time to take the opportunity to listen to us. So thank you, Mr. Hamker.
As we were talking, the design component. So many times we get into these different situations. We identify the problem, but then the question is, okay, I want to get through this fast, I want to solve it, I want it over with. And yet the students do that and there's not success. And they look at you and go, well, now what do I do? Many times we don't have the opportunity to go back and train them and say, well, this is why it possibly went wrong. So when we're looking at our design process, it's helpful that we can brainstorm with our students and go, hey, this is what you could be looking at. Reprogramming the brain to go, hey, you know what, there are different things that we can approach and go into more detail with. Then you put it in the design mode. I know we have some engineers and retired engineers up here on the board. It'd be great to have you come in and give us some of your feedback. Hey, guess what? This is how we used it in our day-to-day lives. Oh, really? Why was that important? Well, you know the bridge right down the road that the county just condemned? Yeah, we're the ones that have to fix it. Oh. And they need the connection to real life. A lot of these kids also look at us and go, I don't know what the jobs are in the future. I can do something with a video game, right? That would be a nice concept, but unfortunately, what else are you going to do with that video game? You make one and you're done? It would be great if you can make, $10 billion on one video game, but it doesn't happen. The next step is the build process. And then you're going to test it. The kids have tested things and they say, well, that's not working. Well, why isn't it working? Well, I probably didn't put all the effort I needed into it. What can we do differently? So we go through this cycle. We're starting Force in Motion in 8th grade right now, and the biggest question is, what's Cedar Point's new ride? All the kids want to know it. Well, that's one of the questions that the design engineers are really focusing on. They're taking us to the next level and saying, okay, why do people want that? There's a specific reason. Do you know what it is? When you ask that question now, the kids will give you a very basic answer. Our goal is we want to extend that answer. Show some excitement. Put the excitement back into the classroom. Unfortunately, we focus on the testing on a day-to-day basis. This is the excitement that we want to see. If I ask this question out of all of you, how many of you had a science teacher that actually influenced you when you came through school? How many of you had a teacher overall in general that influenced you? Even the board members. Hopefully you have one that, that's the reason why I want to do it. That's what we're going to be able to bring back with the whole STEAM option. I know we've thanked Jim and Teresa, but at the same time, thank you, Ann. Thank you, cabinet members. You're giving us pretty much the green light to go. We're very excited about this. We keep talking every day, and there's a new email. Hey, take a look at this one. And we're like, wow, that's even better. I hadn't really thought about that. So not only are the three of us working together to come up with the new ideas, but the excitement that is rebuilding in our building, we can't wait for the kids to come in and take a look at what's coming in the future. Let's talk about some project ideas. When we start doing this whole STEAM thing, what are they going to do? It's great when you have this blank slate, but at the same time, how do you get through an entire semester with a blank slate? Well, we need to put some ideas on here, and some of the ideas that we've already taken off on is the idea of cardboard furniture. Mr. Large is going to give you a little bit more detail on that one.
I like furniture, and if you walk around my house, my wife will tell you how much I love furniture and how little we need it in our house. But the idea that you can take reclaimed cardboard and make usable furniture of it with it by applying some physics, to me is just exciting. We'll start off with a small model and just keep getting bigger and bigger until we're able to really lounge in the furniture. There's some great designs out there, and hopefully the kids will look at the designs and see the concept and make all their mistakes and eventually arrive at their own design with furniture they could theoretically take home and use. So that's one of my pet projects that I want to do, and hopefully we can see it to fruition.
I'm a big fan of catapults and trebuchets, so I think anytime you can chuck something a long ways is going to appeal to a lot of people. And it's easy to pull that out. We all know what catapults are and trebuchets, but very easy now to see, like, it's disconnected. If you teach projectile motion in mathematics right now, which fascinates me as a math teacher, but may not connect with all kids, when you can put it into a catapult and see angle of elevation, velocity, max height, all those things in life, that puts a whole different perspective on it, and that's what I find very, very exciting. So I look forward to that one. Nice we have a lot of space out here.
Watch out, anybody that's over at admin, if you see something chucking your way, it's not done intentionally. We also are going to be working on windmills, 2-liter rockets. These are just some of the smaller projects that we know that we're going to supplement along the way. Now, board members, this is the fun part. Not only are kids going to be challenged, but we need to challenge you. You have a 5-minute challenge. We're going to be giving you some miscellaneous materials. Annie, I'm sorry. You're working with Dr. Jamba and Joy. We're going to put all the other boys together. Your goal is you're going to be given a kit. You have 5 minutes to design the best device to chuck the little pom-poms that are in there the furthest distance. Now, the advantage is you get to shoot. So Mr. Bax and crew down here, you're shooting back at these guys. Oh, cool. And these guys down here, you're shooting back at them.
All right.
So if there's somebody in particular on the board that you want to get even with, adjust it appropriately so that when you have achieved your goal, you're good to send it right back at. Okay? No misbehaving. You're not allowed to cheat off each other either. Are you ready?
Yes.
We have 5 minutes. Here we go.
There you go. Give the kids scissors, but we will not give you guys scissors, okay? That's all right. No need scissors.
You can't have scissors. How are we going to do it?
We got 5 minutes to design. This is what you got. Wait. So you got a tube.
That is a tube.
This. I wonder if this is the ammo.
The small green one on one Small green one.
Small green one?
Yes.
We get to shoot these things. Is there like a rubber band or something?
So we can,
There's not like one, there is one.
okay.
No testing that way.
Mike, you could use these, but your shoes don't have shoelaces. Yeah, you don't need a gun barrel. Mike, you could use these, but your shoes don't have shoelaces. What's that? I'm going to use this. Yeah, okay, thank you.
3 to 1.
That's one of the old school ways.
We're relying on the engineers.
Yeah, well, we can, I mean, that, we can assemble that. There was nothing that too significant.
And we only got 6 You still want to use the rubber band?
Engineer team down there.
Yeah, but they don't have all this.
See how that goes. That's what we always used to get in trouble in school for.
Which newspaper?
How are you going to eat your oatmeal tomorrow?
Nope, I guess not.
Pats on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Put the butter pats on the ceiling. That's our butter pats. Yeah, you're doing a heck of a job of taking it.
Can you launch?
This way? Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, that is not fair.
Okay. No, not too successful.
We got it right back.
Actually,
Okay. All right, not bad.
Ingenuity.
We actually build a catapult.
Yes. This end's a little bit different, so if you want to look at this approach.
Go a lot further than that.
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. This has worked so good before.
Into trials.
And Mr. Ellick, it goes right back to your spot, so not successful there.
Projection wasn't very well.
All right, Dr. Jama's end.
Okay.
That's good.
Can't get hurt with this.
All right, so here's our first contraption.
But does it work?
More smash talk. Here it comes.
then we got a baby one.
Yes.
We could have done that. Well, you could have done that.
Very successful. How about a round of applause?
Oh, I do have to declare a winning team. Unfortunately, with most success, it would be the non-engineering portion.
No way!
Former kindergarten teacher.
Nice presentation, guys. Thanks.
That was great.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on the agenda to visitors' comments. The school board encourages and appreciates citizen interest in meetings of the Board of Education. Normally, the board will meet twice during the month and make accommodations to allow public participation. Persons wishing to address the board for up to 5 minutes may place their name on a sign-in sheet 5 minutes prior to the start of the meeting, indicating the topic they wish to discuss, or make a written request to the treasurer's office 1 week in advance of the board meeting to speak for up to 15 minutes. Each meeting's participant will be invited to speak directly to the board so their remarks can be clearly heard and questions may be asked by the board. Today we do have a speaker signed up, and that's Mr. Frank Whitfield. Mr. Whitfield, come on down.
Check. Oh, mic check. Oh, this is hot too. A hot mic. So good evening, everybody. Before I get into my comments in terms of what I'm here for in the Urban League, I just want to encourage people, we have until March 6th to make any comments on the ESSA state plan. So I was just talking to Mr. Jablonski, his website, testingwindow.blogspot.com. You can get some guidance on what type of responses you can have. Also, you can go to our website, lcul.org, and get some guidance on how to respond to the state's ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act plan, because that's important work. And I know we got some teachers in here who understand how important that is. So make sure you got till March 6th. But the reason I came here today was, one, to congratulate the school district for passing issue 23. That was huge. And not only to congratulate you all, but to really thank you and commend Dr. Jama for his commitment to local and making sure that, one, our kids are getting the best education that they can, but also in the best buildings that they can with the best teachers that they can, and looking to hire more people locally to be a part of that process. So one of the things that I'm really excited about is this gives us an opportunity to change the face of Elyria. I'm from Elyria, graduated from here, have some teachers here that I've given a hard time. Teresa Brown and Jablonski are both two of my teachers, and they're just great folks here. And you know, we have a great opportunity here to change the face of the city, but one of my things as an Urban League who focuses on job training and getting people employment and economic opportunities, that as these resources flood into our community, that our local people take advantage of the opportunity. So I'm excited to be working with Dr. Jama and encouraging our community to go after these opportunities, go after the job opportunities. So I just wanted to thank you all for that, and continue to offer ourselves as partners in this work, and thank you for all that you do. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Whitfield.
Thank you, Frank.
Okay, with no other speakers, we'll move on through the agenda. Next item on the agenda is board meeting minutes from the February 15th, 2017 meeting were posted, and I'd like for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion from Board Member Brubaker. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second from Board Member Annie Christoffen. Any discussion? With no discussion, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on the agenda to Treasurer action items. Madam Treasurer.
Thank you. The first item is donations, and it's to acknowledge, express appreciation, and accept the following gifts and donations. The United Polish Club Ladies Auxiliary of Amherst, Ohio, has presented a donation of $100 to Crestwood Elementary. The donation will be used to purchase boots for students. Elyria Charities Type 3 has presented a donation of $3,500 to the Link Crew at Elyria High School. The donation will be used for the Link Crew's expenses. And Mr. President, that's all I have this evening.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the treasurer action items?
So moved.
Second. A motion by Board Member Christoffen and a second by Board Member Gebhardt. Any discussion items? No. With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries. Any treasurer, other, or items?
Just real quickly, I wanted to summarize to the board how the bond sale went today.
Good, okay.
It was pretty exciting. We sold over 50 million today. In a couple weeks, we'll sell the remaining 9.9 million. It was, the difference is whether they're bank qualified or not. We have to wait 14 days by law between the two sales. Although the bond market was a little bit difficult due to the president speaking last night and some uncertainty of how things would go, I would say that it went very well. Normally, when the stock market goes up, so do the interest rates. But, and as you know, as about 2 o'clock today, the Dow was up over 300 points. However, thanks in large part to the district's excellent financial condition and our A1 bond rating, there was a good demand for the district's bonds. The availability of the additional security also from the Ohio School District Credit Enhancement Program helped with the bond sale. Approximately 84% of the bonds were sold after an order period of 90 minutes today. Stifel committed to underwrite approximately $8 million of the bonds that were unsold after the order period was complete. One of the things that helped the district today was the general lack of supply in the marketplace. So, I mean, we'll take whatever luck we can get, but that was good. The district will receive the $50,040,000 on March 21st. And overall, the weighted average interest rate was, for the 35-year bonds, was 3.99%. And then just a little note from Al Bacco, from our underwriter. He says, I'm very excited that we were able to get to the market so quickly to take advantage of this great interest rate environment. Thanks to you and Dr. Jama and members of the board for all the hard work in getting us to this point. I believe that getting to the market quickly ahead of the rest of the many school bond issues that were approved last November will prove to be a very good strategy. The district, the board, and the taxpayers should be very excited about today's successful bond sale. Congratulations.
Oh, that's great
Great.
news.
Very good.
Outstanding. Wow. Okay, thank you for that update. Okay, moving along on the agenda to superintendent action items. Dr. Jama.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I would like to make the following recommendations to the board under superintendent actions for the board's consideration this evening. Item number 1, to approve the contract with Steps Academy for the remainder of the 2016-2017 school year as detailed in enclosure K1. This is a specialized program for a student needing additional supports and additional help to be successful. Number 2, to approve the overnight field trip for the Elyria High School students participating in the Special Olympics to The Ohio State University in Columbus on June 23rd through the 25th, as detailed in enclosure K2. The next one is also very exciting. Overnight field trip, to approve the overnight field trip for the Elyria High School robotics team participating in the Ohio State VEX Championships at Harding High School, Marion, Ohio, on March 10th and 11th, as detailed in enclosure K3. And when we get to superintendent discussions, I'll ask Mr. Kokai or Ms. Schloss if they'd be willing to just share a little bit about the robotics team. And with that, Mr. President, that concludes my recommendations under superintendent actions.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the superintendent action items?
Move we approve the superintendent's recommended actions.
I have a motion by Board Member Bax. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Board Member Brubaker. Any discussion items? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries. Superintendent, other?
I don't have any items under Superintendent Other, Mr. President, but I do have several items for the board's consideration under personnel actions as recommended by the superintendent. Item number 1, to approve the unpaid leave of absence of the following certified staff members as detailed below. And these are newer teachers who are on maternity leave. They're going out on maternity. Item 2, to approve the following OHSAA tournament game workers for the athletic service as detailed below. Item 3, to approve the athletic supplemental contracts of the following certified staff and non-employees as detailed below. And again, all these individuals have been vetted appropriately and contain the credentials needed to be a coach or participate in the extracurricular activity. Item number 4, to approve the unpaid leave of absence of the following classified staff members as detailed below. Item number 5, to approve the resignation of the following classified staff member as detailed below. Christina Brunson. Item 6, appointment of classified staff. To approve the appointment of the following classified staff members as detailed below. And you will see that they're going from 7 to 6.5 hours. It's not being reduced, it's just how it was recorded on the timesheet. Is that correct, Mr. Taylor? Am I saying that correctly? Thank you. Item number 7, that concludes my recommendations, Mr. President, for the board's consideration under personnel action by the superintendent.
Thank you, Dr. Jama. Do I have a motion to approve the superintendent action items as recommended?
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Board Member Gebhardt. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Board Member Karstafen. Any discussion? With no discussion, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye. Motion carries. Superintendent report.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the time on the board agenda that I love the most, where I get an opportunity to share and have individuals share about many of the wonderful things taking place in our district each and every day. And at this time, I would like to have Mr. Kokai come up, if you wouldn't mind sharing some great information about our robotics team. And I think this goes along with the question I remember you asking President Elick not too long ago. How will we know with what we're doing is successful? And I think we're going to get an awesome answer tonight.
Maybe.
Good.
Thank you, Dr. Jama, members of the board. We were fortunate enough to place 3 teams in the state championship for VEX robotics this year, which is a huge accomplishment for us because thinking back to November, the students couldn't even get their robots to lift a 1 kilogram object. And to see how far they've come and to be able to compete with the best teams in Ohio is thrilling for us. It's beyond what we even thought was possible, but going back to what Mr. Large, Mr. Church, and Mr. Hamker were talking about earlier, they've definitely learned from failure, and they're learning from their experience. And some students are on the 4th version of their robot. They've failed so many times to get to this point, but ultimately they are where they are. A good showing in Marion next weekend actually qualifies them to go to Worlds. There's actually a world competition. So that's in Louisville, Kentucky. We aren't necessarily have our hopes too high. It's our first year, but we didn't think we'd get to this point either. So it's been quite a wild ride, and we're very excited for the opportunity to go to Worlds. So thank you for that.
That's great.
Thank you, Mr. Kokai. Great explanation, and we're so proud of you and your team put the kids together to make this happen. And I know the kids are prouder than anything when they talk about this. If you ever get a chance to see one of the competitions, I mean, it's an event, and you get into it, and it's robots fighting each other and shooting things over the fence, and it's pretty exciting stuff.
Did they use catapults?
They use catapults, yes. Treasure Clickinger. Couple other items I would like to share. This past weekend I had an opportunity to attend the LaCapsi program at Lorain County Community College, and Elyria was represented greatly there. We had 109 students in middle school and high school receive an award at the LaCapsie program. This is a program for our African American students who did a remarkable job in the classroom, and they received an award from the LaCapsie organization. So we're very proud of them. It was held on Sunday at the Stocker Center. And again, it's a proud feeling sitting in the audience and watching so many of your students receive awards. Also on Monday, the Elyria High School Max Scholars Program put on an incredible program at Elyria High School again it was a packed house. The students attended, staff attended, and again, it had to do with African history and African American history and the word unity. And that word's being brought up now about bringing people together, not pulling us apart. And they did a remarkable job with singing, poetry. Pastor Cunningham did a remarkable sermon on being united and how stronger we are if we work together. Some of the other things I want to highlight is Brian said the robotics team will be going to state, but they're not the only ones. For the first time ever, we have a bowling and a gymnastics athlete both making it to the state competition. I believe the bowling is held in Columbus, and I believe the gymnastics is in Columbus as well, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Tim?
We think northeast Ohio. I don't know if it's over by Akron, if it shows that.
Okay.
I don't think gymnastics.
This Saturday night, we have our boys basketball team starting with the tournaments. Wrestling team will be in Mentor this weekend for the district finals. And just many, many great things taking place and a lot of activities to go and enjoy if you so choose. So again, proud of these kids, proud of the staff. And this just doesn't happen. This comes from hard work. This comes from coaches spending a tremendous amount of time. This comes from advisors working with the kids and the kids working with the advisors. And I'll tell you, it's just starting to blossom. And we're so proud of what's taking place district-wide.
Great, super.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Jama. Okay, moving on the agenda, Board of Education items. Any items on the board to add here? Board Member Kristoffen, do you have something to add today?
No, not today.
No? Mr. Gebhardt, no?
Yeah.
Down this way, Mr. Bax?
Sure. I think it was last Thursday I got to attend the junior high science fair at the high school, and really had a good time there. There were lots of participants, good crowd, a lot of interesting projects, and the kids were making things in their little projects that I had never even thought of making when I was that age. Yeah, very interesting. And the thing I liked was the fact that the kids, these young scientists, were starting to understand things that we were talking about right here today in Westwood's presentation on understanding a process and understanding data. How do you collect data? What is data? How is it valid? How do you validate data that you collect? And how do you present data? So I saw, you saw a variety of charts, various sorts of charts. The kids are learning how to, where we would have to, when I was there, we had graph paper and we made charts. Now they go on Excel and they use an Excel chart wizard, and they make charts. But in any event, it was great to see the excitement and the fun the kids were having, and it was really a great evening. And just wanted to say I really enjoyed it. It was super.
Well, that's great. Thanks for sharing. Board Member Brubaker, anything to add? Nothing to add today. Okay, moving along on the agenda then, we'll go into Q, executive session. I'd like to get a motion to request an executive session for the purpose of preparing for negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment with no action to follow as authorized under Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Board Member Gebhardt and a second by Board Member Kristoffen. Any discussion? With no discussion, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Brubaker?
Aye.
And Mr. Elliott?
Aye. Motion carries. And thanks to Westwood and everybody tonight. We greatly appreciate your hospitality. And this session is with no action to follow.